Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. Watch 181 here. I'm sorry for the intro. This is very impromptu. Was not planning on doing a video, but I think we have a good learning lesson here. Plus, this is a beautiful setup here that's taking place. So in at 181.07. Let's see if we can get some pushing to the down, that's not a word, pushing to the downside. Boeing is at a state right now where it's just, it's a very rational thought to have that this thing wants to and needs to roll over. Now, when I say roll over, I don't mean go back to 177, but at least pull back a little bit here. So again, I'm in at 181.07. Would like to see this down to 180.75-ish area before I even think about taking profits. And it got down there, and then that fast bounced. So we'll see if it wants to make another push down to that area. Actually, I like that. I'm going to cancel that out. I think I can get better than 180.75 now. Or maybe I'm just being a greedy savage right now. But I like this setup that's taking place here. Really do. Strong, strong, strong. This thing just does not want to roll over, it seems like. But we'll see what happens. Again, I'm in at 181.07. So it's making that move down again. Can it actually break through 180.90-ish? That's the key area. See, it gets down to that area, then it just stops. The good news is if it can break, then it should really go. Well, again, I'm gonna have to settle for 180.75. Can we get a push down, or is this thing just gonna bounce back up again? So at this point, still could be a losing trade because I still have 300 shares that I could take a loss on, but the loss now that I'm looking at is much more manageable than if this thing does actually go in my favor. And I'm thinking I probably should pull some more off the position because this thing just refuses to break down. I want to give it another opportunity though. Can we get down through 180.50? Okay, pulled out another 100 there. Still have 200 shares left. Looking for a breakdown now of 180.50, which would be excellent. There we go. Wow. All right, well, just 100 shares left. So strong. If this thing goes over 181.15, I will be out with the remainder of my shares, and that would give me actually a loss on my final 100 shares. But I could be wrong. Maybe this thing doesn't ultimately want to bounce, and if I'm wrong, a situation where I'll gladly be wrong. Just using a mental stop, though. So if I see it go up over 181.15, I will have to be out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this thing's not getting ready to bounce again. I hope this thing decides it wants to keep on rolling over, because if that's the case, then that would be very good for me. So a good situation where you want to be wrong. Like I said, I think this thing wants to bounce. 188.15 is what I'm watching. All right, it's over, all out. So, well, I got the small. I don't even remember where I was at. I think I was at a loss with commissions, but now I'm up $123. But not the most exciting trade, but a very, very a good lesson. A lesson in the sense of, you know what, sometimes the market doesn't care how much you love a setup. The market doesn't care what you think is going to happen. Now, granted, I was right. What I thought would happen happened somewhat, but not nearly to the extent. And just because you are highly confident in something, which I was very confident. I thought this thing was really getting ready to roll over. Just because that's the case, the market doesn't care what you think. The market doesn't owe you anything. Nobody owes you anything. So you got to be aware of that. You have to always in the back of your mind acknowledge the fact that, you know what, maybe I'm just wrong. And I thought I was wrong. I gave it plenty of opportunity to work in my favor. It just didn't do that. Now it's falling back downwards. Yeah, I'll take it again at 180. What is that? 50. Yeah, I mean, I'm only risking another $75. Whatnot. So just doing 100 shares here. In at 180.53. Let's see if I can get the move finally this time, or is it just going to bounce right back up? We'll see. Again, just doing 100 shares because I don't want to put myself into the red here. I want to maintain green. So even if I'm totally wrong, it will still be a situation where I'll have some gains. Let's see if we can get down to the 180-ish area. So just have 50 shares left. In other words, not going to make a killing, but I'm also, in a spot. Well, there we go. There's the move I was waiting for. My timing was off though, right? For the 500 shares, that is, because at least I still took advantage of it with the 100 shares, but my timing was off with the 500 shares, and still making money on it here, which is great. Don't want to come across as a greedy savage. But yeah, my timing just wasn't quite what it needed to be there, and that cost me. So annoying, but from a YouTube video perspective, that's some good learning lesson. This is good, real action. And as a note, if you're maybe new to the channel, these are not voiceovers. This is all live. This is happening as I speak. I don't know what's going to happen next. Now, I still could potentially take a loss on the final 50 shares, but I want to give this thing plenty of leeway here to see if it actually wants to get down through the 180 mark. But, oh man, this thing is just so strong. But yeah, if this thing wants to just push down a little bit more, especially if the markets can break down, that would be a fantastic help. All right, well, I just have 25 shares left. That way I don't have to worry about any of this being a red trade at all. So if it goes up over 181, I will get out of the trade. But if not, if we can get a break below 180, then I'll move my stop loss down to just right around the 180.50 mark. But in order for me to do that, I need to see it get down below that level of 180. But sometimes, which I'm doing here, you just kind of got to admit that maybe you just don't have the best read on the stock. And I had a right read on it to an extent, but not the perfect extent. And that's why trading is so hard. That's why it's so challenging, because when you stop thinking about it, I was actually right. I had a general premise of what was going to happen. It did happen, but my timing was off. I didn't quite get the right entry point. And you can be right about everything, but there's more to trading than just being right about a general idea. You still got to be able to implement the idea, right? Get a good entry point. You still got to be able to manage the trade. There are a lot of moving components, which all can be figured out. So I'm not trying to say that I am a great trader because I've all this figured out. I'm just saying that there's a little bit more to trading than what, sometimes meets the eye to people. So I'm trying to do customer service too. I may just hop out here because this is kind of ridiculous. I mean, time is money, and I'm just spending here. And I can't think about anything new to talk about. I think I'm just repeating myself at this point in time. But I'm trying to stall to see if we can get the break of 180 there. But again, like I said, yeah, I am just going to hop out. Let's see. So all out there, so $147. So again, I'm glad I took advantage of that move, but once again, Boeing just not willing to play ball, just not, and there it bounces back upwards. So I think that's probably the sign that I need to be done with Boeing. And given how I've traded Boeing, I'm actually, and you can see quite a few trades on it this morning, had some profitable ones, but all my profitable ones just they just were kind of blah. And then I did take a loss, but it was a very controlled loss, which still, has me up at 147. But I'm trying to think, what should I name this video? When nothing quite goes right. Maybe I should name it that, because that's pretty much what's going on here. And believe it or not, I want to short Boeing right now at 180.15. I'm not going to do it though, just because at this point I really can't quite tell. Am I just revenge trading at this point? Am I trading based out of frustration, or is that actually a good setup? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Shorting at 180.15 right now. What do you think about that setup? Is this actually a good setup, or am I wanting to revenge trade right now? I'm not going to take it, but we'll do this. Everybody get your thoughts documented. Pause the video, leave a comment down below, and then let's see how this actually plays out. So I'm going to go ahead and pause, and like I said, comment section below. I want you to pause the pause the video real quick too. Give me your thoughts, and then we'll come back and see how this ultimately played out. Well, for those of you that were saying take the trade, right now the trade's looking pretty good. Now, does it get continuation? We'll have to see. As we saw, just because it gets an initial move. The problem with Boeing is it hasn't given any sort of continuation to the moves. But as of right now, those of you that said, yeah, that was a good setup. Of course, I'm kicking myself. Dang it, Clay, that wasn't. That would have been a good move. So let's see. Yeah, but even now, I still couldn't have even gotten 50 cents out of there, which is what I would have liked to take my first. So for me, it would need to get to at least 179.65 for me to consider this a good decision, just because at 179.65 I would have been able to pull out 200 shares at essentially a 50-cent move in my favor, which gives me quite a bit of breathing room. So even right now, we could have a case where it doesn't give continuation and all of a sudden it just snaps back upwards. But so we'll see how it plays out, but that's the current update. And no going back and editing your comment. This will be like a good real life education example in terms of what you were thinking, what you would have done before it actually happened. So no editing comments, and I can see if you edit it, right? Because from my end, it shows edited. Uh-oh. I almost don't want it to hit because I don't want to be upset at myself. Don't hit it. Don't hit 179.65. Oh, I think I just saved. How low did it go? Went as low as 179.66. Okay, good. Good. I survived by 1 penny in the sense of it. No, go back up. Have you ever been there before where you actually don't want something to work out because then you're going to kick yourself? In all seriousness, though, there it is. So yeah, that I wasn't seeing things. That was a good setup. Should have taken it, but that's good old hindsight. So for those of you that said, yeah, no, I'm taking that setup from the short side. It is not, it is not revenge trading or anything like that. I would say you made a great call. You made a great read on that, because as you see now, it's moved over 50 cents in the direction. Granted, right now I'm not saying it would be some sort of epically huge winner, but it's certainly moved enough now where for me I'd be able to manage it in a sense where it'd be at least a green trade. How big of a green trade, I don't know, but it would have been a green trade. Well, it's kind of fun. We might have to do that some more. I think that might be the first time I ever did that in a live trade video where we did some almost paper trading together. Because had I done what I wanted to do, yeah, that would have been great. And now just like that, bounces back up. So that's kind of been Boeing's MO today. Of course, on the long side here, it did the exact opposite. It just refused to ever go down. But, so that was pretty fun. Maybe, let's see, it's only 10:17, only 45 minutes in the day. I don't know. Do I want to keep going? I mean, I don't want to be greedy. I'm not sure many places in the world where you can make $147 and only, and I've been done since. When did I get out of that trade? Oh yeah, 10. So I mean, less than 45 minutes I got out if you're unfamiliar with my screen, but that's what I'm looking at right there. My last trade was out at 10:12. So less than 45 minutes. Up $147. I mean, like I said, I'm not a greedy savage. I'm happy with that. But I don't know if there's one more setup that maybe shows up. We'll see what happens. Well, fun fact here. Those of you that took the trade, very well done. Very well done. Your quote unquote simulator trade is playing out beautifully. Now, I don't know. Maybe some of you took it from the long side. If you took that from the long side, then hopefully you stopped out by now because things are getting very nasty. But, that's just, it is what it is. I realize it makes me look stupid that the one trade that would have finally really behaved in the favor is the one that I didn't take. But the learning lesson there is you got to be very self-aware. And when you're self-aware and you're honest with yourself, if you feel like you can't tell the difference between is that a good setup or am I just flat out revenge trading, just acknowledge it and just take a step back, especially if you're green, right? I mean, I'm green, so it's not like me deciding to not take the trade is costing me anything. I mean, sure, it's costing me the ability to be more green, but I'd rather stay green rather than go red because I go there and I revenge trade or something like that. But quick little update there. It is now moving very nicely in the downside direction. So like I said, for those of you that took the paper trade, and I'll note down in the comment section below, well done. For those of you that are maybe wondering, how does my chat room work? Let me just get it typed up. So NKLA watching for 51. Key upset, well, I mean, I just typed what I'm watching for. So now members know to keep an eye on that $51 mark. Whether it gets up there, I have no idea. Again, these are live. But that's, a quick little example there of how the chat room works if you've ever wondered behind the scenes. But yeah, if it does get up to right around that $51 mark, that's a very interesting setup. But yeah, it's got to get up to that area. And we'll see if it can or not. So I will keep an eye on it. So if 50-90 breaks, I'm going to go ahead and get in. This is such a fast mover that if I wait for the 51 break, I'll probably be way too slow on it. So I'll be watching level 2s, and if 50-90 breaks, then I'll go in with, I'll allow, not 500 at 151. I'll allow myself up to, basically 10 cents of slippage to get up to the 51. I mean, I'm still okay with buying at 51, but I want to, give myself plenty of leeway to get in and not, risk missing the trade if it even gets up there right now. And again, these are live, not a voiceover. So I genuinely don't know if it's even going to get it back up to that 51-ish area, but we'll see. All right, it's making somewhat of a move. Kind of. Looked like it was. All right, never mind. Quick little update, ultimately pulled back here. I'm not saying it's totally out of play, but as of now, seems as though the tide is turning. And would be potentially interested in buying a pullback down around 48.50, which it's still got a ways to go, maybe. Gonna go down to 100 shares though. Now, granted, I would like more than 100 shares, but 100 shares would at least get my feet wet on this pullback here. So 48.51, again, no idea if it'll actually get down there, but I'll keep an eye on it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and call it good. It is now 10:31 a.m. So been open, market's been open for 1 hour. I'm not very sure of any other place in the world, or not many, I should say, where you can make $147 in an hour, especially when you don't really do that good of a job, right? I mean, I did fine, but I could have done much better. Just Boeing didn't cooperate with me as much as I thought it would for all the reasons already discussed. But I mean, when you think about it, you can still walk away making money even when days just don't quite go in the way that you want them to go. So I'm happy with it. 147 in 1 hour. And sometimes you just got to admit that the day just wasn't your day and move on. And if you're new to the channel, I'd encourage you to check out the channel and go through the playlist of live trade videos. I mean, there's a variety of live trade videos. One of them off the top of my head made $460 in 5 minutes. I mean, so think about that. That's crazy. 5 minutes, $460. But to be fair, not every morning can be like that. And that's why videos like this, as much as I would much rather post a video of me making a bunch of money, this keeps it very realistic so that you know that, yeah, unfortunately, not every morning is going to be $460 in 5 minutes. I know there's one where it's like $2,500 in like 3 minutes or something crazy like that. That would be awesome if that could happen every morning, but that's just not the reality of the matter. Sometimes mornings like this happen where you can't do things right. And then, as embarrassing as it is, I literally got a video rolling because I thought I was going to crush it on the trade. I'm like, all right, this is such a good setup. Let's just get a video rolling so I can get a sweet YouTube video out there and show me making a bunch of money. And then it didn't really work out. I mean, it worked, sure, but not nearly in the sense that I thought it would. But I guess, to look at the glass as half full. Embarrassing for me, sure, but a good learning lesson just to show that no matter how much you love a setup, no matter how much you think a setup is going to behave in a certain way, and no matter how rational you are being, and I was being very rational. I mean, I had all sorts of good justifications for thinking the way I did, but the market doesn't care. The market doesn't owe you anything. The market doesn't care that you're making a YouTube video. It's going to do what it wants to do, and it just didn't quite behave in the manner that, like I said, I thought it would to get out there and make a YouTube video of it. But it is what it is. Embarrassing, but hopefully there's some good learning lessons in it. Now, before I go, final few things. First off, if you enjoy these live trade videos, a very quick, easy way to communicate that to me, just hit that like button. Also, comments, questions, suggestions, leave those down below. If you've ever watched any of my past videos, then you know I do read comments and will reply to them. And then finally, like I mentioned earlier, check out the channel as a whole. There's an entire playlist of live trade videos. I want to say at this point, I mean, I've been doing this for years and years. I want to say there's like 400 live trade videos right now. So, I mean, you can go through and see a good variety of different type of trading action. And at the end of the day, hopefully you decide to subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you. But thank you for hanging out. And yeah, remember, no matter how much you think a setup or a stock or the market owes you, or you think something is as beautiful as it can be, doesn't mean that it'll actually work out the way you planned it. So you always got to be able to factor that into your trade management rules. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.